Headphone Zone has been cooking up something special with the folk at ddHiFi, and they very kindly sent me two of the brand new models that they've sent. These are the USB-C DAC amp cables. Now some people have not been too happy with carrying a separate dongle DAC. I've been okay with it. I've not really had an issue. It's all right that I'm locked into one dongle DAC, and I like to have multiple because then you get different flavors of sound. But there are some people who don't like that, extra appendage in the whole connection between your phone or whatever it is you're listening to. So I think this will solve that problem. So anyway, without further ado, thank you to the folk at Headphone Zone for providing me with these demo units. All thoughts and opinions are my own as always. And we'll jump quickly into how these are built. Well, both of these are OFCs, so they are oxygen-free silver cables. And you can see the one, the lighter one is the normal DAC cable, Hi-Res DAC cable. The other is a Hi-Res DAC Pro cable, which is this one. And you can tell the difference by even looking at the termination. So the black one is the Pro variant, and the gray one is not the Pro variant. And of course, you'll see the Headphone Zone branding on one side of the cable and the ddHiFi on the other, which is quite cool. And the other side is, of course, terminated to a 0.78 connector. Now what I like is both of them are marked, so each of them do have these little dots on them. So the R for red, R for right, and the other one is blue, which is for the left channel, which is nice to see. And then another pretty nice surprise, what I wasn't expecting is both of these have these little modules in the middle. So you do get a sort of little button, a tactile button that you can click on. Now this button can control play and pause with a single click, next track with a double click, and previous track with a triple click. At least when I tried it, both of these did function very well. Now the other thing that's really I found really surprising is that these do have microphones in them, these modules. Now when you look at it up close, at least I've not been able to spot any specific opening where there's there's normally a little dot or a circular opening, but I don't see it anywhere. But these do have microphones, which I will get into in a second. But overall, on the overall finish and build front, these two are really top of the line in the sense in this price range. I do have some other upgrade cables with me that, well, one is a balanced, which is a lot more expensive than these, so that specific one is definitely more premium. But for the price, I must say they've done a very good job with the overall finish with these. These do seem like they're quite durable. They're going to last a very long time. But of course, keep in mind, please look after your gear. Don't be too rough with it. When you get into the audiophile hobby, you have to be delicate. You have to be careful with your stuff. Now the thing is, what I did today is, or should I say over the last few days, is I've been listening to my SimGot SM4. And one thing I will say is that the cable that Headphone Zone has sent with along with ddHiFi is definitely a little more premium feeling than this, because this does seem to be a little on the thinner side. This is the SM4 cable. This is the cable that comes with it. I have, of course, plugged. I've been listening to this with the iFi Go for a long time. I really do like the iFi Go, and I will say that this cable does feel a little more premium than the SM4s, and even the sound to a certain extent, but I'll get into that in a minute. Coming to the microphones, well, there's really only one way to show you how good or bad these microphones are. Now, at this point of shooting this A-roll, I have not heard how these microphones sound. That will happen in post. But if you do want to know how it will sound, here's a quick demo. I'll throw up this recording so you guys can understand how it will sound, or should I say how your voice will carry over to your recipients. Here's a quick demo to show you how they perform. So I'm talking to you right now from the confines of my studio, and my camera's microphone is picking my voice up. In the sense, my phone's microphone is picking my voice up. And this is just to give you a sense of how this little microphone will sound. Now it does sit pretty low down, so I'm not sure it will pick up a good amount of depth from my voice, or volume. But let's see. So right now I have not yet plugged it in, and I'll plug it in right now. This is the normal Hi-Res DAC cable, and it says recording audio through headset. Okay, so this is the voice or vocal tonality you'll be able to hear being carried over to your recipients. This is how it will sound for your recipients. Now, I do suspect if I hold this module a bit closer to me, the overall sound and tonality will shift a bit. It might get a little louder. You might hear a little more sibilance because it's that much closer to my lips. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. And just see if you would like how this sounds, because some of them do have, a microphone up here. So this is much further down. It's sort of at my sternum, which is much lower down. And this is the audio out of the regular cable, and I'll switch over to the Pro variant right about now. So this is the more premium one. Of course, as you can see, the module here has got the black carbon fiber look to it. But again, it's down at my sternum. If I pick it up, it will sound like this closer to my mouth. So keep that in mind if you're using it for calls or for gaming or whatever it is you plan on doing, which is cool. Now, the one cool thing about this is, like, for example, the SM4 does not come with a microphone, and I'm sure there are some people who use that to play games and they are just missing a mic. This is a good resolve. This is a good solution to having a microphone if you want to take calls on the go and if you want to play. So I think it's a great concept. It's a great idea. It's something that should help a lot of people. But of course, these demos are here for you to decide whether or not you like that tonal quality. And let me know down in the comments below what you think about the overall mic quality. I do think these two will sound similar, exactly the same most likely. But you let me know down in the comments what you think. And I'll see you in the chapter about sound. Moving on to the sound of these, well, this is where it gets a little interesting. The DAC that is in both of these is the CX31993 DAC. And both of these have that DAC chip, and this DAC chip is used in many other DACs. In fact, the ddHiFi Headphone Zone DAC amp that they do sell has this very same chip. And I did do a comparison, an in-depth comparison between that and the iFi Go Link. If you've not seen that, check it out. But it is a very capable little DAC chip. Where these two differ a lot, I wouldn't say is, well, build quality, yes. But where they differ more so is in the amp chip, because the amp chip that the Pro variant has is the MAX97220, which is also a very capable amp chip. They've not mentioned specifically what chip or what amping method they've used with the normal variant. But one thing I will say is that, I mean, there is certainly a difference, and the mistake that I made was I listened to the Pro cable before I listen to the normal variant. And before I carry on, let me just mention that these do support up to 384 kHz by 32-bit sampling. So this will work best if you've got local FLAC files that are well recorded, well mixed, and not compressed. It works fine with Apple Music and all as well. But coming to that mistake I made, yeah, I did listen to the Pro cable first, and I spent some time with it. And why I specifically chose to use the SM4 is because it is a nice transparent sounding set of IEMs. It's a very capable sounding set of IEMs. It's a set of IEMs that I've really liked in the past, and I knew that it'll be able to tell me the differences between the two. So I have used that, and one thing I will say is that with these cables compared to the original, the overall sound does seem to be a little fuller. Like, for example, when I normally listen to the 3.5 cable that comes with this SM4, it usually seems a bit lethargic with the bass in particular. The SM4 is not really as prominent in the lower frequencies as you'd think. But then the minute I plugged in these cables to the SM4, both of them did make the lower frequencies that much more lively. So it was a lot more fun to listen to the lower frequencies with these cables. Now, I'll tell you where the main difference is. These do great for imaging and soundstage, especially for the SM4. Now, will these cables make as much of a difference with something that's, say, 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees? Maybe not. Maybe you might need more premium IEMs to really be able to hear the difference. I'd say stuff in the maybe 5,000-6,000 to 8,000 range is where you'll start telling the difference. And of course, above that, the more transparent your earphones are or IEMs are, the more chances that you'll be able to tell the difference between these cables. But I will tell you where the difference is. I don't think there is really an issue with the DAC chip. It's a great sounding DAC chip. I'd say the issue lies more so with the amping, and I've said this for amps for speakers, and I'll say that for this as well. There's a term called headroom when you listen to a lot of amps. Now, it's like redlining a car. If you get a performance car, compared to a normal conventional, let's say, city driving car. If you want to hold both cars at 100 kilometers per hour, the normal car is going to be much closer to its limit than the performance car will be. And because of that, holding 100 kilometers per hour on a performance car is easier. It's calmer, it's cooler, it's not struggling, it doesn't sound like it's, you know, having a conniption. Whereas the other car pushing to 100, let's say in whatever, 4th or 5th gear, is struggling more so than the performance car. And that's what headroom is. When you've got more power on tap, when you've got more power that can not necessarily, you know, go all the way up to maximum, where you have the leeway to do that, but you don't have to do that, is why headroom is important with anything. If you're talking about stereo amps, surround amps, if you're talking about even these little amp chips in these little cables, it makes a difference. So that mistake that I made was I did listen to the Pro variant first, and then when I moved to the normal variant of this cable, it seemed a little bit lethargic. It wasn't as enthusiastic in the lower frequencies. It wasn't as enthusiastic with certain details. Did I have to give it more volume? Yes, a little bit more, but not that much more. But at the same time, the Pro variant is way calmer. It's way cooler handling whatever you throw at it. In fact, I think the main reason why I'd strongly recommend the Pro variant over the normal variant is for that very reason, that it's calmer, it's cooler, it's more relaxed when it's playing your music to you. The minute you start cranking the volume on the normal variant of this cable, it starts to sound like it's I wouldn't say coming close to redlining, but because it does a good job. I'm not saying that it's a bad product, it's a very good product. But if you had an option between the two, I'd definitely say go for the Pro variant, because that little bit of extra power on tap makes a big difference. Noise floors also seem a lot calmer. They're a lot softer. I wouldn't say it's completely, you know, dead silent in certain tracks, but it's certainly, the Pro variant is certainly way more quiet than the normal variant when you listen to your music, and there are dead silent parts in it, of course. So basically, to just quickly sum up, if you are somebody who's got a set of IEMs that cost maybe 6,000 to 8,000 rupees, and you're thinking of upgrading those IEMs to something new, maybe give these cables a try, because it might breathe new life into your IEMs. Feeding them with a little better power. You may not have a DAC that's as good as this, or you might not have a DAC amp that's as good as this. Feeding it with a little more headroom, better powered DAC amp is bound to make a difference. And you'll be able to maintain a similar sort of frequency response. There won't be too much of a color shift with this cable in particular. So yeah, I would strongly recommend these. If you don't have the money to get the more premium one, I'd say don't worry about it. If you only really listen to them back to back, where you listen to the Pro variant and the regular variant, and really do back-to-back testing, then you'll be able to tell the difference if you have transparent enough IEMs. If not, and your budget is only that of the normal variant, I'd say it's a very good performer. These are the things that make diminishing returns a thing. It's that much more expensive, but does it give you that much more return? I wouldn't say, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have or doesn't want to spend that kind of money. But if you're willing to spend that much extra, you will not regret spending that much extra over the normal variant. So anyway, moving on to the price. If you do want to buy these, of course, you can buy these from the Headphone Zone website. And the Hi-Res DAC Pro cable goes for about, well, it's got an MRP of 3,499, but it's going for about 2,999 right now. And the normal variant, the Hi-Res DAC cable, not the Pro variant, has an MRP of 2,999, and you can pick it up for just 1,999. So that's 1,999. So yeah, I'd say it's a difference of 1,000 rupees. To some, that's a lot of money. To some, it's not too bad. So again, coming to that price, if you have the 1,000 you can spend, I'd say spend it. If not, then the normal cable is perfectly fine. So anyway, there you have it. That's my review on Headphone Zone and ddHiFi's new cables, which I think are pretty amazing little additions. It will help, I think, a lot of people who don't want that little extra dongle DAC that they're carrying around. And I do hope that this video has given you a better understanding for these and helped you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.